More news coming in at this point in time. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has landed in Jeddah. Pictures are in fact from a few moments ago when the Prime Minister landed. It's a grand welcome for the Prime Minister in Saudi. The Prime Minister will be meeting the members of the Indian diaspora. He's the first Indian Prime Minister to visit Jeddah in 40 years. This marks a significant step in strengthening the bilateral relationship between India and the kingdom. This visit is after the invitation extended by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, clearly set to elevate India-Saudi ties across a range of sectors, particularly energy, security and defense cooperation, regional diplomacy. I'm going to go straight across to Geeta Mohan for the very latest on that, a foreign affairs editor joining in. Geeta, explain to us the significance of this visit comes after 40 years. Also, the focus on deliverables here vis-a-vis energy, security, defense cooperation. Tell us what is expected in the course of the next 2 days.
Well, the fact that this is Prime Minister Modi's third visit to the kingdom after his earlier visits in 2016 and 2019, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman had visited India for the G20 summit in 2023. There has been an enhanced cooperation. Both sides elevated the meeting, the partnership to a strategic partnership level, and then the first meeting of the India-Saudi Arabia Strategic Partnership Council was also held on the sidelines of the G20. So a very important relationship at a time, Sneha, when we have the IMEC corridor coming up, the India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, connecting India to the world, making India the base of supply chain, and this after the conversations on supply chain resilience grew since the COVID-19 pandemic and how markets were impacted because of China. So these are very important aspects that will be coming about during the talks between Prime Minister Modi and the Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia, as also the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. This is a very important meeting. There are about 6 pacts that are going to be inked in the sphere of science, technology, trade, economic cooperation, digitalization, so on and so forth. But it is the defense and strategic partnership, Sneha, that is very important between India and Saudi Arabia at a time when Saudi Arabia ought to and does play a very important role in the conflict that we're seeing today between Israel and Palestine. Not a lot of conversation in terms of the interview that Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave to Arab News on, or questions basically, on the situation on the ground. But that certainly is going to come up when the two sides meet and the two leaders meet on regional stability.
That's right, Geeta. Also, the important focus here is going to be on the fact that there are, there's a big diaspora there. There are 2.7 million Indians who live in Saudi Arabia, and that certainly would be one of the focus areas as well. Speaks volumes. The Prime Minister is going to be visiting an Indian, a factory which obviously also hires Indian workers there.
Well, a very important question, Sneha, because not only is he visiting a factory, it also highlights the importance of safety of Indians working in the Gulf and West Asia, what the West calls Middle East. Only because of the fire incident we saw not so long ago in Kuwait, and these are incidents that need to be avoided. The treatment of Indians living there as labor force in West Asia is something that really concerns India. There are more than enough reports and incidents that are reported on how Indian workers are treated there. So that certainly is going to be part of the conversation. Also part of the conversation is going to be Hajj pilgrimage, Indian pilgrims going to Saudi Arabia. Remember, Saudi Arabia stopped or reduced quota for a few countries. India was one of them. It was because a lot of them were going on the not through so very legal or rightful means. And so that certainly, again, is going to be part of the conversation between Prime Minister Modi and the Crown Prince.
All right, I'm going to thank you, Geeta Mohan, getting in those details, putting the Prime Minister's visit to Saudi Arabia there into perspective.